Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're doing a full face of pretty makeup products. Pretty and cute. I had to stretch it a little bit to make sure that I actually had a full face. Some of these categories I actually had a lot of things in, so maybe there can be a round 2 or even a round 3 at some point. I just have all of these things here in front of me and I'm just going to pick and choose whatever I need to get a nice look that's pretty on the inside and on the outside. That's today's theme. Of course, the t-shirt and the hair are very basic today. The makeup's going to do all the talking. Yeah, let's hop right in. Real quick before we get started, I want to thank you so much for clicking on my video. My name is Cecile, I live in the Netherlands and I upload a couple of long form videos a week and pretty much a short every day. All about makeup, little bit of fashion, lifestyle, mainly makeup though. So if that sounds interesting to you, then please consider subscribing. And now let's get into this pretty makeup. So I always start with my eyes and I'll scooch in a little bit closer. Well, I guess I don't really have a lot of cute eyeshadow primers, but I do think this icing primer from Glamlight is pretty cute. The mirror we'll be using today is this face palette from NARS, which of course is also really pretty. Now, I think eyeshadow palettes are generally pretty products because, well, there's a nice packaging around it usually, but I do have a couple of brands that really went the extra mile. Of course we could do a Pat McGrath because this is beautiful, but I think I used that in my last tutorial, so we're going to put her to the side for now. Because what I feel like is a newcomer for me that immediately stole the spot in beauty on the inside and outside is ADEPT Cosmetics. I did use the Minka palette in quite a lot of videos lately, but look at how pretty this packaging is. It's the faux leather. And then of course the inside is just full of sparkly goodness. So of course this is an immediate contender. But I actually came in possession of another ADEPT Cosmetics palette recently and I got to borrow this. This is the Inspired palette. And I think this is going to be the one for today because look at that metallic green packaging with the beautiful gold label on top of it. I think this palette is pretty much sold out, but I happened to get my hands on it. So I've been using this in shorts over the past couple of days. So I think we're going to reach for this one. So I've been really into green eyeshadow lately, so this palette is perfect for me. So I'm happy I get to play with it for a couple of weeks probably. So it's this beautiful green focused palette, but there are lots of other pops in here. So there's a beautiful blue. This one shifts a little bit blue as well. The greens go either a little bit more minty or a little bit more warm. I think we can have some fun with this. So first I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. And I'm going into the shade Hannibal Bates. This is just a beautiful mint matte green. And I think what I want to do today, mainly because I've been wearing so much green, I want to see how blue I can get a look out of this. Or blue-green. I really like this shade. Alright, then I'm taking a small packing brush. You've seen me use this with countless of green eyeshadows recently. And I'm of course going into that deep foresty green. I was happy to see that all the pretty products that I selected are actually also very good on their own, like apart from the packaging. So most of them are favorites of mine. And of course the packaging is always nice and it's a nice bonus. But I was happy to see that I don't really own any products that are just pretty on the outside and that I never really use. So all of these items I generally love, but I also really love the way they look. So I've been doing this eye shape over and over recently. I guess I'm not in a very experimental phase. I like trying all this new makeup and I like seeing if it makes me feel pretty. And this is just the type of eye shape that usually makes me feel pretty. But I can understand if it's getting a little bit boring, so I'll try and do something more experimental next time. This is just looking stunning. It has this sort of soapy green look to it. So now I am of course very attracted to these greens, but we did say we were going to go blue. So I think I'm going to start with this one in the outer corner of the palette, which is called Adam Hunt, which is just a beautiful vibrant blue. And I'm going to put this all over the lid and let myself be amazed by all of these sparkles. Yes, those are absolutely stunning. The reflects are a little bit more gold, so I think the overall effect of the eyeshadow ends up looking a little bit turquoise, which of course looks really pretty with the shades on the mattes that we used. I just ended up putting this all over the lid, also on top of the mattes. I don't care, I want this to be super, super visible. And now next, I'm going into this super flaky shade. I'm also going to take my finger for this one. And it's called Warm Patel. And I'm just layering that on the inner corner, slightly on top of that other shade. This is even shinier. And it's more of a duochrome, so there is definitely a pink shift in this one. So this one wasn't exactly as light as I was expecting, but I'm sure it gave a nice extra dimension. So now I'm taking a flat brush and I'm going into Harold Beckman, which is this shade over here, which I believe is a dark blue to purple multichrome. And I'm going to put that underneath the lower lash line. And now I need something of a highlighting shade. And for that, I'm going to see if this works. So this is the Kimchi Pearl Gone Wild highlighter, which I tested out quite recently, but this is the epitome of pretty and cute packaging, also beautiful on the inside. I don't think I used this as an inner corner highlight yet though, so let's see if that works. It's definitely blue. Yeah, that works beautifully. I'm also going to overlap this a little bit right here because I like the deep blue, but I just like this inner part over here to be lighter. All right, I think we got a pretty blue eye look out of that seemingly green palette. Nice. Okay, I don't really have a cute eyeliner or a pretty eyeliner, so I'll just pick something that fits the look. But for lashes, I am going to use this Lash Like a Boss mascara from Essence because I honestly feel like this is the cutest and prettiest packaging for a mascara. And also, it matches our eye look, so how can I not? And I'll add some lashes and I'll see you right back. So I'm back. I really like this eye look. I added some black liner, turquoise liner, black mascara. And then I added these lashes. I've talked about these before. These are the Beetlejuice lashes in collaboration with Makeup Revolution. I have 3 packs of these, or at least I used to. One is already gone. And these are these really cute, fluttery, not too big lashes with little spikes. And I thought that the packaging of these lashes was pretty cute as well. So they fit the theme. I cleaned up my under eyes and now let's get into some face makeup before the sun sets completely. So the primer that I want to use is this one from Chanel. This is the Leblanc Multi-Use Illuminating Base. And I just wanted to pick this one because I feel like, of course, the white liquid is very pretty and you'll see it on the face, it's very shiny. And also I think the CC is just so classic. I feel like this whole bottle, the frosted glass, it's the whole thing. I like it. Comes with a pump, which is also great. And this is a little bit of a scary one. Oh, I usually put this on with my fingers, by the way, because it's super white. And for me, that's not really a problem because I am so pale. But I can imagine that this does not work for everyone. It just becomes this super pinky, pearly finish on your skin. And you'll put foundation on top, so it doesn't really stay this rosy. But it does keep its luminosity. And also it gives a little bit of moisture to your skin, but not too much. So I think this is just a really interesting primer. and I wanted to give it its moment in the spotlight. It's a little bit like you're rubbing in a sunscreen, which is very white. But you can see that it left my skin looking very healthy. And it's just a really good base for makeup. For foundation, this round I picked my Gucci foundation because this is the type of foundation that I wanted today. This is the Éternité de Beauté. This is the newest foundation that they have with the yellow cap. This is more of a demi-matte, natural finish, but pretty high coverage. I spread it out to be more of a medium, but you can definitely build this up to a full. I have mine in the shade 130W. And of course that bottle is just beautiful, but also this foundation is really beautiful. It wears really well. I'm not sure if the shade range overall is good, but I do really like this shade for me. I like the smell. It does have a smell. So if you're not a fan of that, then probably you should stay away. But I really like high-end or luxury foundations. And I like it when they have a bit of a florally scent. And right now I can really see the effect of that primer. I feel like the foundation looks a little bit more radiant than it usually does. For concealer, I picked out my Charlotte Tilbury because, well, all of Charlotte's packaging is beautiful, and this concealer sort of fits the vibe that I'm going for, which is a little bit more luminous, but also pretty high coverage. So this concealer works for that. This is a beautiful all-round concealer with a little bit of glow, but a nice amount of coverage, and it does crease a little on me sometimes, but not always. And I feel like I can usually work it out. I really like this packaging. I like the font that she chose for the letters. I like the rose gold cap. I like this concealer inside and out. Now, I don't really have any pretty brow products. The only thing that sort of comes close is this one from Benefit, the microfilling brow pen, which is my favorite, so it would count. And I do actually really like this silver packaging, but I feel like over the years it's gotten a little bit ordinary. It's what we expect from Benefit, but I just want to give it a little shout out. This is what I'm going to use in my brows, and then I'll use something of a brow gel on top. So I'll be right back to do that. So I'm back. I finished my brows with, like I said, the microfilling brow pen and a little bit of brow gel. Now I'm going to blend out this concealer. And hopefully you can see that it really does have a bit of a glowy finish. So that's what that looks like. It's pretty bright, but it's going to be okay. I'm not going to use any cream cheek products, so let's just skip right into face powder. And the one that I want to use today is this one from Dior. Just look at this cushion. You can actually squish it a little bit, and the powder inside is beautiful as well. It comes with a little puff. I like to use the puff. And then there's this netting, and you can pick up the powder. I have it in the shade Light. And it's not insanely brightening, so don't expect that, but it's also not deepening, so that's great. So I think this is the most convenient way to use a loose powder, because you can almost use it as a pressed powder. It's almost just as convenient. And it does take away a little bit of the shine, but not nearly as much as an actual, like other loose powders do. So this is a long time favorite of mine. It's overall just a really nice experience to use this powder. For bronzer, I want to go into what is probably my favorite bronzer, but also in the prettiest packaging, and that's this giant Chanel bronzer. So this is from their last summer collection, and it's this beautiful giant pan, but this is a really beautiful color, a little bit warmer than some other bronzers, but not too dark, so it works. And there's a little bit of sheen in there. I don't know if you can see, but I have a pretty significant dip in this one. There's also a giant mirror, which is very dirty, so don't mind that. It's just a beautiful soft powder in a beautiful white case, or sort of bone colored. When I got this, my dad asked, "How are you ever going to use all of that?" but considering how often I use it, and considering that there's already... Oh, I just hit pan. It happened. I'm usually not too sad about that, but I was just about to say that considering the speed I'm going through this, I actually, I wish it was even bigger. Because I don't want to lose this powder. It's just so beautiful, or this bronzer. It just works so well for me. And it shows. I just hit pan. Well, I'm sure it'll take me a lot longer to actually finish this one up, so I won't obsess over it. So for blush, shall we just use the palette that I've been using this whole video? Because this is honestly such a beautiful thing. This is not even NARS's most beautiful packaging. I don't think so. It's beautiful. It's rose gold, maybe even a little bit more rosy than gold, but it's mainly the products themselves that look and are beautiful on the skin as well. My favorite is this apricot shade. This is just Classic Orgasm, which is also really pretty. I don't really use the highlighters, and I sometimes use the red, but just for these shades alone, this is totally worth it for me. So today I'm just going into the peachy shade, which is called Montezuma. And I love these powders because they're baked chalet and they have a beautiful sheen. The kind of sheen that almost allows to not wear a highlighter. But of course I always do wear a highlighter. And I really like peaches and oranges with blue and green eyeshadow. I don't feel like I have a lot of pretty highlighters. So for now, I think I'll just go back into my Kimchi Chic. I'm not really sure if it matches the blush, but it'll at least match the eyeshadow. Yeah, I'm not really sure if that works, but we'll make it work. You know, this highlight is actually a little bit more multi-dimensional. There's also some green in there, some pink, no orange, but I think it's still okay. So I touched up the highlighter around the eyes as well. I don't know, I think it works a little bit more orange here, but with a sudden blue shift whenever I tilt my head. And I really like bringing my lower lash line highlight pretty low. Of course, lipsticks is one of those things that brands really make an effort to make pretty, I feel like. And a lipstick in and of itself is usually a pretty product. But I've selected a couple so I can choose which one would match the look the best. And I think I know what we should do. This is the final piece in today's look. This is, of course, Pat McGrath's Blitz Astral formula. This is or Blitz Trends, I mean. The other one is the eyeshadow. And this is in the shade Nude Romantique. I'm quite far with this one. And this is just such a beautiful, sparkly, very pigmented lipstick. I usually don't use a liner with these. I usually don't use a gloss. They're just beautiful all-in-one products. The only thing is I always forget that this is really more of a pink than a nude, or at least, you know, it's not really a peachy nude, but it's a little bit more pink. What do you think? Does it work with the look? I'm just going to keep it like this. Say goodbye to the pretty palette. So yeah, this was a lot of fun for me to put on my face all the prettiest products and also get a pretty look out of it, if I do say so myself. I really like how this look came out. I hope you enjoyed it too. Subscribe if you liked the video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.